We're going to talk about the design mistakes that we might be making that might be responses to trauma. I want you to have a space that supports your well-being. And remember, I am not a trauma therapist. It's not my field in any way, but I think when you have been a person who has experienced it, that gives you a fair opportunity to also discuss it. So let's talk about it from my perspective as a design consultant and the mistakes that I feel affect me personally, and I'm certain that it could also be affecting you in one way or the other. Those beautiful spaces or well-designed spaces support our mental health and keep us even more productive. But beyond just spaces, we will also be redesigning our lives, our businesses around our core values like our faith, relationships that matter to us. And so I'm excited to welcome you. Oh, please have a seat, go grab a cup of tea. We love tea. When you have those spaces that are not finished, you started that bedroom, you've never finished. Now one wall is painted, the other wall is half done. You started buying bedding, but then decided to also buy the cushions for the couch in the living room. So this project is unfinished, and so is that project. We're not speaking from just a place of judgment. I'm also doing some introspection here, okay? If you have visual noises everywhere, and I mean clutter, no surface of yours is without stuff. And I don't mean something beautiful like this decorative vase, cups and plates and books and homework. So much is just sitting on your desk, on your dining table, on your coffee table, in the kitchen, on the kitchen counter. You have the dish rack there, you have pots and pans here, then you have salt, sugar. Everything is just everywhere. You don't have any, in design we call negative space, which means a space that is not filled with anything. Usually we look at it mostly for walls. If you have a little bit of that, those design mistakes, your environment, it gives us a reactive response rather than a restorative response. Think about that. After a heavy day of traffic, your boss, your space instead is making you have reactive responses. You would think that design is just something that is just for beauty and aesthetics, but it is beyond that. Visual clutter, or those visual chaos that we see, that you can see chaos like it's visually there, they really do affect more than just how the home looks. It also affects how you feel. It's not about expensive decor. It's about organization. When you live in visual clutter, it is very hard to have an organized mind. Every time I have laundry that I'm yet to fold or hang and put away, I feel like I haven't even done laundry at all, because it's like on the bed, there's a pile. So just something to think about. Visual noise is what we're going to call that design mistake. Eliminate as much of it as you can. This is a basket I have, and I have a lot of my filming. Like I have a camera here, I have my goals journal here, I have an extra microphone. Rather than have them sitting on the table, it helps me eliminate that visual clutter. Consider smart solutions. What are some smart storage solutions that you can pick up? If you're thinking about entryway console, consider one that has a pull-out drawer. That way you can throw away the keys in there. Even if you don't have that coat hanging closet, try and see how you can minimize the stuff that you get to see that's visible. You see this type of entryway where there's those knobs and you just hang your coat or your bag. I know people love them, but I'm not a fan. I would rather you get something similar to this. I also like the bench, which when you sit on, at the bottom, there is those pull-out drawers where you can also tuck your shoes, so it acts as a shoe storage. Those kind of things, rather than have this type of shoe storage, which you can see the shoes that are if you have too many open shelves, also causes overstimulation. And I know that is something that we often enjoy, having bookshelves that are open. There's a way to decorate them. Have a look at these two differences between these two bookshelves. One supports a restorative environment, while the other one is just visual clutter. And I get it, we love books, and that is why sometimes, and I know probably this might not make sense to a book scholar, I will turn the books around so that they all have the white side. Now, for someone like me who loves moody spaces, I'm into the gray walls. I love a dark wall. I love the accent walls. I'm learning that can be a representation of emotional heaviness. Maybe that's why I enjoyed it in the past, because I'm finding I'm at a space where now I'm loving airy spaces. I'm going for brighter paint. Don't get me wrong. Like, I still love my deep, heavy paints and wallpapers, because there's just something about a deeper shade of paint. But again, it's just from a therapy perspective that it could represent heaviness in a room. So another design mistake we make is we fix this space to function either as a bedroom, but we don't first factor in what are some of the things that we do when we're in that bedroom. For instance, if you love to journal or read your Bible, maybe one of the things that we need to be thinking about is, does it have a corner where you can just have even one chair, if you don't have as much space, to just sit and relax and do your thing? Have a cup of tea, like your green tea, chamomile, or even your breakfast tea, and have your journal, your Bible out, just a dedicated little sanctuary where you get to spend time with God and yourself, and you're just in a quiet space. Because if the only place you can sit is on your bed and on your couch where everybody else is, then that's kind of like a design mistake. So as we design our spaces, we should consider a space, even if it's a space where we get to move a mobile stool or ottoman to go to that corner to just have a quiet time. We do need our little sanctuary spaces, and I think I'm going to have a video on how you can create a nice corner nook that can be that for you, especially for those who have larger bedrooms and you have that corner that's just sitting there empty and you don't know what to do with it. Let's make it your little sanctuary, your little space where you can have your private time. Design mistakes that you're looking to eliminate are visual clutter, things that are just visibly allowing for noise, which is what we call busy spaces in design. Also, open shelves, they add to overstimulation. We've also talked about having a dedicated space that is like your sanctuary space. We've also talked about heavy colors, not allowing for a light emotional environment. Perhaps you experience some of those negative emotions because you might be making those mistakes. Please let me know in the comments, and which one you're probably going to implement today. Something that you can easily implement is just getting rid of the dining table stuff, and that is why you should have an extra piece of furniture in your dining space, which usually is what we call the buffet table. It can be the cabinet, it can be the armoire, just something that has pull-out drawers. That's all we are concerned about, so that you can get to put away some of the stuff that maybe you feel you usually would have on top of your dining table in your dining room. And I hope that has given you a little bit of clarity on how we can eliminate some of the reactive trauma responses we have by just fixing some design mistakes. I'm Chris, and I'll see you on the next video.